Hey, thanks for tuning in. This is Jess TV, where we talk about all things related to how to have a peaceful relationship with food and with your body. Number one, stop beating yourself up. I, growing up, had been the queen of self beat up. I would say that in hindsight, the majority of my thoughts were about why I would never accomplish what I wanted to accomplish, why my body wasn't good enough, why I wasn't good enough, why I didn't do enough to get something that I wanted, why I did the same thing over and over and over again, like binging. You know, when I was younger, I would think to myself like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I did this again." Sometimes I did it consciously, sometimes I did it unconsciously. So if you are someone who beats themselves up, listen up. The number one thing that I suggest to start coming out of the mentality of self beat up is to embrace. So start embracing the emotion that caused this in the first place. Start embracing the emotion that you have right now than the emotion that was the cause. So if the emotion that you have in self beat up is, I can't believe you did it again, like it could be anger, it could be frustration. If frustration is your emotion, embrace the frustration. What I mean by that is stop trying to think against it, stop trying to should yourself against it. Start feeling like saying to yourself, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated, and that's okay. I'm frustrated, and I'm allowed to be frustrated. Okay, so if you start thinking those things to yourself, all of a sudden that frustration, it gets unlodged from that stuck place that it would have been, that it would have stayed, and where it doesn't belong, and it starts to actually surface and it starts to settle in your body and in your mind and ultimately kind of evaporate out. So number one is embrace the feeling. Number two is look back at what actually happened. So what actually happened? So hypothetically, let's say you're at work and you didn't get the client that you pitched to. So instead of going into self beat up about all the things that you could have done, the things that you didn't see, the things that you didn't know when they were asking questions, all of those things, you can stop assuming that you should have known everything, that you should have seen everything, and that you should have been perfect. So get out of that perfectionist mindset and go figure out a way to fail forward. So the only way to do that is to figure out what your blind spot was and shift from that and change what you do in the future. So you may go to your boss and say, this is what happened, this is what I did, this is what happened in the meeting, and like, how could I have done this differently? How should I handle this differently next time? Something like that. So you can also go to someone, so let's say it has nothing to do with work, let's say it's all personal, and you're really frustrated with somebody and you are miscommunicating, you have no idea what's going on, but this happens all the time, this miscommunication, and you think it's them, but you also know that some of it's you and you really don't understand it. Go to somebody who you trust, who has a good perspective, and say to them, this is what's going on. You know, where am I being blind? Where's my blind spot? What am I not seeing? So that you can fail forward, so you can stop doing it over and over again. If binging is something that you continuously do and you're in constant self-beat up about it, how can you stop doing that? So something that one of my friends did recently was she actually eliminated the food, one of the foods that she had available to her the last probably several weeks. And she just decided, I'm not gonna buy that for a while. That is not going to be available to me for a while. It's not going to be at my house or at my office. And so she's less inclined to binge on it and on most things, because when that's not there, it can actually remind her like, oh yeah, I don't have any nuts. There's a reason I don't have any nuts. Okay, so like that brings awareness to the moment of when you want to binge, and then you can start thinking about, okay, what is the feeling that I'm feeling right now? Start accepting that feeling, start embracing it, start shifting. Okay, so another thing that you can do is act. Acting is something that will always shift you out of whatever emotion you're feeling. So if you focus on what you need to get done, what you want to get done that day, and you start acting forward in that direction, then whatever you're beating yourself up about becomes irrelevant, because that was the past and this is now. And now you're doing something that's productive, that's making you feel good and happy and allowing you to move forward. So just depending on the scenario, there are all kinds of ways to shift out of self beat up, and it is absolutely essential. This is an essential practice for you to develop a peaceful relationship with food and a peaceful relationship with your own body. You know, the same thing with spinning like a hamster wheel at the gym. If you're constantly working out and you're not seeing any results, that's another reason to beat up on yourself. But what are you not seeing? What information do you not know? And can you be okay with not being perfect? Can you be okay with hearing something once and not necessarily absorbing it the way it needs to be received and absorbed so that you can use it effectively? So there are all these different reasons why we are not perfect. So stop beating yourself up about it. Have an amazing day. When you get a chance, please hop onto YouTube, find my name on there, just plug in my name, or you can also click on the link above and subscribe, because I don't want you to miss a thing. If you enjoy these videos, if you got something out of this message, please pass it on, please share it. This is your video as much as it is mine. I love you, and I will see you soon.